Hi, class. So we're starting this week with the week of poetry, and we're shifting gears a little bit. But I wanted to let you know that the week that we worked, the first couple of weeks that we worked on with short stories, that kind of opened the door for poetry because the language that you were reading in short stories is very rich and highly emotional, especially with A Good Man is Hard to Find. Now you're going to be transitioning and moving on to poetry. Poetry highly depends on language, and it also um, depends on emotion. So when you are reading poetry, you want to focus on emotion and you want to focus on feeling. And the idea of poetry is to try to show or demonstrate how the human condition affects individuals emotionally. And so you might not be able to make sense out of everything in the poem, but I want you to try to find feelings that resonate with you this week now that we're starting poetry. The language may be difficult to understand. Try to work through it when you're reading poetry with trying to figure out how you feel. And so there's really no right or wrong answer when you're reading poetry. Now, O'Connor, in her short stories, in the last unit that we looked at with A Good Man is Hard to Find, in many of O'Connor's works, when you were writing your discussions, you found that O'Connor was difficult to understand a little bit because she also highly depends on emotion to try to define her writing identity or the personas that she's writing about. Poetry is even more so like that. I have included some videos of Anne Sexton and Sylvia Plath, and I want you to know that these women were very dark poets of their time. Both committed suicide in their own ways. They felt that the human condition for women was kind of bleak and hopeless from the generations that they were born in, and that the male dominated society sort of um, took away their voice and their value. And they both committed suicide in their lives. Their poetry is very bleak, much like O'Connor. And the reason why I pick that is not because I resonate with the bleakness or the depression or the sadness, but that they use language so well. O'Connor as well in the last chapter, but Sylvia Plath and Anne Sexton, the way they use language so loosely, so freely, but at the same time, just to convey that emotion, and they just do it very well. I also have a little lighter sections for you with Billy Collins, a little lighter. But poetry is supposed to be basically bleak. And short stories are supposed to be bleak too because they're supposed to talk about the human condition. So I'm not trying to depress you with these readings, but I want you to just kind of focus on the language and how language affects emotion. So that's my intention for you. I want you to enjoy it, find something you like about poetry when we're doing this chapter, and find language that you kind of can connect with. So have a good time with this chapter, have fun with it. And yeah, I'm looking forward to reading your discussions. Bye.